Good morning. How are we doing? Great to have you guys back. Day 5. I'm sure the journey has been extremely exciting. It's been very exciting for me. Uh, I'm looking forward to the next morning to learn something new. Shine. We remember Shine? Shine. Start your day learning something new. And the good news is that you're on day 5 and you've got 21 days where each and every day you're going to learn something new. And I'm also going to learn something new because every day I'm going to listen to Dr. Sham, and Dr. Sham every day gets something new for me. So it is not that this is not new for me. So in these 21 days, my objective of learning something new is going to happen. So new is one of the things. The first thing, what do we say in Shine, is start your day with gratitude and optimism. We are so blessed, each one of us. We are actually going to take this message of health, of morning nutrition to 140 crore people outside to make sure that we are kind of making their tomorrow healthier than yesterday. And we are blessed to be given this mission. And we should thank the supreme force, the God, whoever we believe in. And with optimism, we should step out. We should make sure, as I said, that we are learning something new. And whatever new we are learning, with clear intention and goals, which we set for ourselves in the morning, we are kind of implementing that through the day. So that clarity of mind and the intention and how many lives are we going to transform, how many people are we going to touch with this message of health is extremely critical. So set your goals early in the morning, make sure, and then the night check against those. Were you able to achieve that? And for all this, we have understood, the scientists have spoken, they continue to speak, you'll hear more. Having your morning nutrition is critical. Having your nutrition, your protein fiberlicious shake, along with your daily and your omega. Let's make sure that through this 21 days, those 2 scoops of protein and that 1 scoop of fiber in whatever shake, delicious you want to make, and there's so many delicious recipes which are going to be shared through the 21 days. Make sure you are having that, because as you're kind of inculcating that habit, you'll be ready, you'll be prepared to kind of take this forward after 21 days to your family, to your friends. And that's where the community will start building through this healthy habits. And the other piece is the exercise. I don't know if from 1,000 steps you move to 2,000 steps. Are you kind of moving your arms? There's some very easy, simple to do exercises which have been shared. And that's absolutely critical. And that again will help you build the community. As you start with your community, after 21 days, you will need to engage your community. And for that engagement, you will need something to do. The consumption of the morning nutrition is going to be one engagement. The other is going to be the exercise, which you can do. The third could be the habit. And there are many habits. You'll kind of learn a new habit today. How you practicing the new habit. And the habit has to be something which everybody in your community, your family, your friends, whoever is in your community is comfortable with. So make sure that you're kind of leveraging into this. You're practicing Shine uh, each and every day of your lives, because that's really going to make sure that you're building a much bigger, much stronger health and well-being business, and you are set on your goal. Whatever your goal is, sky should be the limit. There's so many people waiting to kind of being touched, to be transformed, and they will bless you. I can tell you the blessings which you're going to get from these people whose health you'll kind of transform, who the awareness that you're going to create with them is going to be humongous. And for that, it'll all start with you. So make sure that you're listening to the sessions, you're kind of embracing those sessions, you are having your questions, and maybe at the end of 21 days, we'll keep a couple of days of Q&A sessions where we can just kind of take your questions. But don't, on your chat, keep putting your questions. We'll make sure that we'll kind of keep coming back to you with your answers. I am really inspired. I'm having my morning nutrition. I'm fully committed to it. I'm feeling healthier, stronger, more energetic than yesterday. And so is, I can tell you, Dr. Sham, who's been my inspiration. Dr. Sham joins us every day from California. It's not a very comfortable hour. It's an odd hour, but he makes that effort. And he comes with something new for each one of us to learn. That's the That's the mantra which he's practicing. So he's practicing shine each and every day of his life. And that's why we're saying we should also be kind of practicing this. He obviously is hugely knowledgeable. He's got great degrees, whether it's University of Texas, whether it's the PhD, the postdoctorate with Harvard Medical School. But his learning has not stopped there. I can tell you, each and every day is looking for cutting edge science which is emerging. And he's kind of participating there in critical forums, in critical this thing, learning. And he's there to kind of make sure that we learn along with him. So thank you for that, Dr. Sham. Welcome you on the virtual stage.
Thank you, Ajay, and a very good morning to everyone. Every day you see me in a lab coat and a shirt, the tie, but today I couldn't do that because I miss my running for some reason. No, I know the reason is because we are moving our home and everything, so I was a little busy. So I missed my running, so I just went running just an hour before the Hindi session I had, and I came back all sweaty and everything. So I just ran into this meeting and sitting there. So I didn't want to change unless I take a shower. So I thought I'll just spend some minutes with you today. But before that, I just want to acknowledge, the passion Ajay has for us for this program, right? So we work very closely to really convey the message because in the science, there's so much complicated things are there. For me, it is like it's like eating cake every day not in a good way, but in a good way, right? In the sense that every day so much research is there. But then I keep on wondering who is translating this research to people, right? Who are not from the science background. My wife, my family, my friends, many of them don't have the science background. So I take it upon myself to convey what is the cutting edge result out there, how can I translate it. So I take the help of Ajay and his team to really drive this to understanding. But one of the rituals I have developed was also the habits, right? And learned these habits from my dad, who's 96. He's 96. He doesn't have a stick. Doesn't walk with a stick, right? He is so active. He's cheerful. He's an epitome of what habits can do for one person, right? I'm still learning from him every day. He wakes up at 5 a.m. in the morning every single day. I've never seen him whenever I'm with him, never seen him wake up even 10 minutes later. And of course, when he is sick or something, maybe a little later, but every day he wakes up 5 a.m., goes to sleep at 10. That's it. And in between, his rituals are very clear cut. He will do his temple run, he will do his shopping, his breakfast, and come back and have rest, to walk around his farm. He really keeps himself keen, alert, and healthy. That's so for me, that only shows how the body clock plays a critical role in the health span and also the lifespan, right? He's an epitome of that. So for me, I try to follow him and I try to say, hey, what can I learn from him? So particularly, I notice his sleep habits. His sleep habits are very precise, very precise. And as I said, 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. So then I know that insomnia is very common in our stressful world. And in fact, so one of the studies what I did was to look into study. And this study was, for me, it was very interesting because it came from my old school, Harvard Medical School. So for me, okay, so let me look deeper into that. And I found to my astonishment, what they have done, they collected data from various studies. It's called meta-analysis. They this collection of data, and almost 6 lakh people, they collected the data from all these studies and asked a question: how does our heat eating habits affect our sleep, especially in relation to insomnia? Now, let me give you an example. What is insomnia? Insomnia could mean different things. It could mean difficulty falling asleep. It could be like waking up frequently during night. It could be waking up too early in the morning. It could be like sleeping. You're feeling tired even after you wake up. Right? For me, after I started my morning nutrition, I have been doing this for some time now, and I know I can go to deep sleep because for me, I have created the ritual. Today I don't know how I'm going to sleep because I did disturb my rhythm a little bit, but I'm able to control my body, and that's another thing. We have is our body is for us to control, right? But nevertheless, and I just want to come back to the study. So let's talk about the good news. So the study showed that people who followed a healthy eating patterns, like the Mediterranean diet, which is rich in fruits, especially vegetables, whole grains, and healthy fats like olive oil, had a very low chance of experiencing insomnia. The Mediterranean diet, particularly, was linked to almost 14% reduction in the chance of getting insomnia. In addition to that, they looked at another diet, which is a very high quality diet, higher than Mediterranean diet, which consists of more protein and more nuts, more veggies. And what they showed, even stronger correlation with almost 34% lower chance of getting insomnia. So I know as we age, we believe that our body is out of sync with the circadian with the body clock. Yes, but there's always an opportunity for us to bring it back. It is at the end of the day, it's under our control. We have the right thing to do, and we have the foods, the right foods we have is our choices we make. When we go to the market, it's our choice. So eating healthy food is associated with a reduced risk of insomnia. Now, let's look at the other side. So what they found was when they looked at the diets which are high in sugar, like for example, sugar, the food with a high glycemic index, right? These are foods in which when you consume, your blood level goes up, it shoots up, right? Then you crash down. These are the foods which really affects you and affects your entire system. It has been associated with a high risk of insomnia. So eating a lot of sugary food, processed foods, and generally unhealthy eating pattern is associated with an increase in insomnia by up to 20%. Right? So there is a significant risk when you start consuming these kinds of food. Right? So what is my message for you today? The message is, if you want to sleep better, try to eat more healthy foods like fruits and vegetables and whole grains, right? Avoid sugary and processed food, and importantly, keep a ritual. Keep a ritual. Whatever be the chance, you keep a ritual that really will help a lot, right? In the morning nutrition, you keep the ritual of your protein and your fiber and your omega and your daily vitamin. And our team has been discussing with you a lot of these things, and you'll continue to hear some amazing studies in the next few days. But if you follow these basic patterns, trust me, you will become healthier sooner than what you think, right? So trust me. So now, without much ado, let me have the main speaker today, none other than Aparna Damle. You must have heard her talk before. Aparna is one of the top scientists in our company, and she is an incredible scientist. She thinks and she reads, she understands, she communicates. So we are really blessed to have her. She's a master's in biochemistry. She's a from National Academy of Sports Medicine in USA. She's a diploma also from there, a certificate diploma from there. She has done multiple courses in clinical trials. She runs clinical trials. So she is, we are very blessed to have her amidst her, right? So this is what AMA Health and Wellness looks like, right? We are filled with scientists always thinking, how can we translate the best of knowledge out there to you? You who really, we believe you are the ones who can spread the message of goodwill, right? Of good health to the entire country. So team, let's invite Aparna Damle. Aparna, stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Sham, and I'm really humbled with those wonderful words you just spoke about me. And also, I'm so blessed to hear such wonderful information from you on a daily basis. So, good morning, everyone. Namaskar. Good, happy gut morning to everyone today. So, I'm sure you all have been following all these days and learning a lot of things each day from various speakers. So, today is yet another talk or yet another session on why morning nutrition. We continue with where we left yesterday and take it forward from there. But then, before that, let us have a recap of what we learned all these days. Yeah. So I'm sure, when you want to take it forward, like Ajay said, I mean, we need to make it into a movement. We need to spread it to 140 crore Indians, right? I mean, and that's a big, big task we have in hand. And for that, we have also been thinking, what are the various questions which might be posed to you, while you want to spread this message, bring awareness to people about how important health is. The questions can be around why, what, how, when, and uh, um, and why morning nutrition in particular, right? And therefore we have covered all this in last 4 days, right? Why health, which is equal to nutrition, right? How nutrition plays a very critical role in shaping our health. We also saw some staggering statistics, right? Which was not to scare you, but to make you more conscious, to concentrate on our health, because that is what the mantra is. Health is wealth, right? If we have good health, we will be able to enjoy all the good things in life. And that's the reason why we need to take care of our nutrition, because that plays a very critical role. On day 2, we learned about what and how to eat, right? This is also linked to what Dr. Sham just said about, the Mediterranean diet, right? Having protein-rich food, limiting bad fats, right? Not completely removing, because all types of fats are important, but then limiting the bad fats, increasing the good fat, especially the omega-3 fats, increasing our protein intake. When we say increasing, it's not that we go overboard, but have the right amount which is recommended for a healthy individual, which is 0.8 gram per kg body weight, right? So these are the things which we need to keep in mind when we talk about nutrition, right? To have the right kind of nutrition, have a lot of vegetables, because they are packed with antioxidants, they are packed with all the good macro and micronutrients. And how to eat, right? And that is also very important. We need to chew our food well, so that we get the maximum benefit out of the food we are consuming. The third aspect is when to eat. That is also very critical to ensure that whatever nutrition we are having every day, consuming, is internalizing, right? We are getting the benefits. And that's why we need to listen to our circadian rhythm, right? Our biological clock, our master switch in our body. And we need to follow a pattern. Like Dr. Sham said, we need to follow a routine. And that is what is the mantra of day 3. And day 4, we talked about what are the benefits, what are the impacts of consuming a nutritious morning breakfast, right? Morning nutrition. What is its impact, both negative and positive? And we covered one of the aspect, and we will cover the other 2 aspects today. But then, before we proceed forward, what are your key takeaways? How are you going to, take these learnings forward? How are you going to promote to your probable friends, family, and customers about this program? Because remember, you are, having a big responsibility in hand. At the same time, we need to be, all of us, very proud about being associated to this program, because we are benefiting always in all the directions, right? Be it our own health, right? Our mind, we are becoming more positive, more optimistic, having the right intentions, right? And that's how we have a big task in hand. And I want to know, because I can see your chat, as to what are your takeaways. How are you going to take it forward? Because that will also help us as to, what are the things we need to incorporate in our sessions, that so that you can be benefited more and more. Yeah, Vijayvalli G says, by forming a community and teaching them little steps. Great. Absolutely. Knowledge sharing and telling our own story of transformation. Very well said, Anilji. Absolutely. Nagarajanji, we follow these and share the personal transformation. Absolutely. Namita ji, first follow myself by eating good nutrition, good diet. Absolutely. I'm very, very glad that, you all have your own thoughts and ideas, because we are presenting in a way we think will help you through these sessions. But then definitely you all are very creative and you would implement or take it forward in your own ways, and that's very good to know. So today we continue with why morning nutrition. The deep dive continues, right? So just to have a recap on yesterday's session, because today is part 2 of the same session, right? So by not having a nutritious breakfast, what was the impact, or what is the impact on our physical health, right? Something which is visible, our outer body changes, right? This is what we learned yesterday. Some of the drawbacks were, we'll feel low in energy, low in endurance. We don't have the right amount of energy to perform, right? And therefore low endurance. There is also a myth associated that, if we reduce our calorie intake, especially in the morning, we will be able to reduce our body, which on the contrary increases our body weight by increasing fat deposition, right? These are the drawbacks we learned by not having a nutritious, healthy breakfast. On the contrary, what we saw was the benefits of having a good nutrition are having higher energy, improved performance. In fact, it aids in your weight reduction journey, right? And because it reduces your fat deposition. These are the benefits we learned yesterday on physical health. Now let us move on to the second P. That was the first P, right? So we can remember this easily as 3 Ps, and that's how we have named it as 3 Ps. The first P, what we learned, was physical health. Now we will move on to physiological impact. What are the negatives and positives of having or not having morning nutrition? Now, what happens when we are not having a morning nutritious breakfast, right? It disrupts our body clock. This is something you have learned in day 3 of the session, wherein our body is controlled by a master clock or a master switch, right? And if we do not follow a proper routine as per day and night, right, our body goes on strike. It's completely disrupted. It's like, there is a major issue in the master switch, right? And there might be shock when you try to switch on various other switches inside your home, right? So something similar, when our biological clock is not functioning appropriately, all our other body functions, go into a disorder. They are completely disrupted. And one of the important aspects we need to remember is our hormonal cycle. Even our hormones are all aligned with our circadian rhythm, right? This is where we can see, the hunger hormone or the satiety hormone, or something which stimulates us to eat, or something which stimulates us to wake up, like cortisol, right? Cortisol is a stress hormone, which is important. We call it stress, but because of cortisol is how we wake up every morning. It triggers us to wake up every morning, and the cortisol levels are stabilized only when you have a nutritious morning breakfast within 2 to 3 hours of your waking up, right? And if we do not do that, the cortisol levels keep on fluctuating throughout the day, and that will have a bad impact on our other body functions as well. So, as I mentioned, our circadian rhythm, when it is derailed, our entire system gets derailed. And this may not be, we may not be able to see this immediately on day 1, right? It keeps on building within. It is like people are angry, the anger builds up before a strike, right? And when their anger goes above a level is when they go on strike, right? Something similar in our body. The various organs do not function appropriately, and they do it in small ways which may not be visible to us on a day-to-day basis. But then if we do not follow a regular pattern, this circadian rhythm completely gets derailed and eventually leads to various issues, like cardiovascular issues, diseases, increased weight gain, right, which eventually leads to obesity, inflammation, which is an underlying cause for every other lifestyle related disorders, the non-communicable disorders issues, what we see more and more in the current era, right? Diabetes, we are the diabetic capital now of the world, which is not a great crown to own, right? Fatty liver diseases, these are all related to a bad nutrition, a bad circadian rhythm, by not following the rhythm what the nature has given us. So let us look at it one by one. How does it affect our major systems, right? We talked about increased cardiovascular issues. Now when a good nutrition is not provided, the cardiovascular system goes on strike, right? This is our major organ which provides nutrients and oxygen to the entire body, right? And when it does not have the right amount of nutrients to supply to the different parts of our body, and for itself, right, the heart itself also requires the nutrients, it goes on strike. What happens when we do not have a right kind of breakfast is our HPA axis non-stress hyperactivity goes up. I mean, you can just imagine this to be very closely linked to our master switch, right? When the master switch is not functioning right, this is something which happens in our brain, and that gets derailed, and because of that there might be an increase in blood pressure, right? The heart is now taking much more efforts to pump blood into different parts of your body, and therefore there is much higher pressure in the blood which is flowing through our blood vessels. That is also because of increased lipid deposition in our arteries, right? There is higher bad lipid which is getting formed. The LDL lipid is increasing, the HDL is going down, and therefore the arteries are getting narrower, and therefore the heart is trying to make more efforts, is highly pressurized to push the body, the blood into our body, different parts of our body, right? And that's how blood pressure is also increased. So they are hand in hand, and that's how now our heart is under tremendous pressure, and therefore it itself now starts deteriorating, and that manifests into various cardiac issues what we are nowadays seeing in our family and friends, right? And therefore these are some staggering numbers. It might look small, but then when you consider a big population, this is a big number. The risk of death increases by 1.9 times. The risk of death from cardiovascular diseases increases by 1.87 times, and by stroke, the death from stroke increases by 3.39 times, right? I mean, why do we have to really think about all this when the simple solution is to have a good morning nutrition, right? The other aspect is weight gain, right? We learned by disrupting the circadian rhythm, the other important issue what which we generally encounter is increased weight, right? When we don't get good nutrition, what happens? Our body is now thinking, it sends the wrong signals to our other parts of our body that you may not get enough nutrients, so whatever you get next you have to store, right? And that's how people also do when there is famine, right? Or even before COVID, right? And that is a very good example here, because right on the day of Bandh which was announced, right, the nationwide closure which was announced, we all ran to the stores and accumulated all the required raw material we want to cook, right? Because we knew that we don't know when the strike will be lifted or the ban will be lifted, and therefore we accumulated a lot of food in our homes so that we don't run out of ration in the coming days. Exactly similarly, our body too does the same. It starts depositing fat in the different parts of our body, especially in the mid the tummy region, right? That is where all our important organs are. It starts depositing around all the important organs, which is the visceral fat, which is not at all good for us, and eventually starts depositing in all other parts of the body, overall, you gaining weight. And this is something we also learned in yesterday's session, because that is something which is visible from outside, but these are the changes which are happening within our body. And as a result, you end up having high fat, high sugar foods, right? We learned again yesterday that how having a breakfast is breaking the night long fast, right? And if you delay it more and more, our body is in need of nutrients, because all the nutrients are exhausted, and therefore now as in more and more you delay your morning nutrition, towards the afternoon, you end up having these high fat and high sugar foods, and therefore increasing the fat deposition. And this is reflected in various studies and surveys, where we have seen that not having a nutritional breakfast is strongly associated with higher prevalence of obesity. They go hand in hand. The third important aspect what we talked about is inflammation. Now, inflammation is not just about, when we have arthritis, that is the kind of inflammation you experience, or when we fall and, there is a local increase in the redness, swelling, and that is a type of inflammation which is visible to you. But then there is inflammation which is triggered in the entire body, right? And that is something which is not visible, and that is the underlying issue for all these metabolic conditions what you see, be it diabetes or heart issues or even various neurological issues related to our brain. And this is something which goes up when a good morning nutrition is not provided to the body. And this was seen in a clinical study conducted a couple of years ago, but a very impactful one, because it was done in 70,000 adults, right? What was seen is their breakfast consumption was assessed. And in people who were having a nutritionally poor breakfast or even skipping breakfast, right, that was associated with an increased inflammatory marker, which is CRP, C-reactive protein. If you might have seen your lab report carefully, you would have seen this also something which is measured as part of your lab assessments, right? And this is a very important marker of inflammation, and that says that the inflammation in our body has gone up. The other organs which are impacted are our liver, right? And overall blood sugar levels in our body. These are also something which increases or goes haywire when a good morning nutrition is not provided to our body. And that is because of the same reasons, because they are all interlinked. Insulin sensitivity is the highest in the morning, right? Because the body is now prepared to get the nutrients it requires, which it has run out of over the night fasting, right? Because overnight the repair and wear and tear happens in our body, right? Wherein all these raw material, protein especially, is utilized, good fats are utilized, right? And therefore there is nutrient reduction in our body, and therefore now the body has prepared to get more nutrients, and therefore the insulin sensitivity is higher in the morning. But then when we do not see, the body does not get the nutrients, what happens is towards the later part, whenever you have your first food, the insulin levels or balance is not maintained, it's triggered, because there is a sudden surge of glucose in our body, because the body is starving, right? And when you give food, the body immediately pulls it in, and therefore there is a spike in your glucose levels, and the insulin what is released in the body is not enough to take care of that excess glucose, and therefore the insulin resistance sets in. The body is now not responding to the insulin, right? And that happens over the years, not one day or 2 days. Similarly, the hormonal imbalance sets in. As I mentioned in the beginning, all our hormones are aligned to the circadian rhythm. And if the circadian rhythm is not followed, a routine is not followed, all these hormones are totally confused and they behave erratically, right? Like your cortisol or your leptin or your ghrelin, the hunger hormone, or your satiety hormone, they do not know when to release, or when are you going to get your food, or when are you waking up, right? And they go completely haywire. And that also increases inflammation in our body. And there are various metabolic changes, right, which are happening, which we just discussed. Our heart is affected, our liver is affected, inflammation goes up, there is excess ROS, right, the reactive oxygen species, because now the body is under extreme stress because of lack of nutrients, and they become the basis of developing much stronger, disorders like type 2 diabetes and fatty liver, which is getting higher and higher day by day in our country. So now coming to what are the benefits, right? Just now we spoke about what are the negative impacts of not having a good nutritious breakfast in the morning. Now let us come to the benefits. And with that, I would want to ask you a question. What do you think are the benefits which you will experience having a regular breakfast? Please do put in your chat, because this is something which is going to benefit you in the long run as well. So we need to know what are the benefits, what a good nutritious breakfast will offer us. So physiological changes, as I mentioned, is internal body changes. Physical changes or physical health is the changes what we see in our external body, right? While physiological changes are something which is happening inside our body, right? So these are the changes what we need to remember, because this is not something we can see, right? But the things which are happening inside our body, which will manifest as something positive energy, what Ajay was alluding to, the optimism, the energy, what you see is a after effect of these physiological benefits which we get. Yes, less hunger pangs, Manish ji, energy, good fulfillment of nutrition, Swati ji, energy, Swapna ji, energetic feeling, Bharti ji, more healthy, Mita ji, energetic the whole day, Hemlata ji, keep energetic and healthy, Sanjay ji, very nice. Exactly, the BMR goes up, Vasudev ji, complete day energized, Hari ji, good health, great, sustained blood sugar levels, mental satisfaction, live healthy with Gauri, Manish ji says this, happy hormone release, Rekha ji, increased performance. Yes, very nice. All of them are true, right? The physiological changes, benefits, what we see in our internal body functions are a balance in our sugar levels, right? When we have a good nutrition, the sugar levels are balanced. The metabolism is higher in the morning, right? As it is, the absorption capacity of our intestine is much higher. The digestion power is much higher in the morning. And when we have a good nutrition, these things are maintained and they were functioning in the optimal condition. The hormonal levels are balanced, right? Now they are not confused. Along with a good nutrition, when you maintain all the other good lifestyle habits, your hormone levels are maintained, your muscle mass is maintained, right? Muscle mass is extremely important for each one of us. It's not only in athletes or only in bodybuilders, it's for each one of us. We do not realize more and more fat deposition in our body, more and more lethargic we get, because muscles are the one which is the active organ which performs all the actions, right? It's not only about lifting, but all our organs, including our heart, is made up of muscle, right? It's a muscular organ. And if there is excess fat instead of muscle, what happens? Our heart stops functioning appropriately, right? And therefore it helps to maintain the muscle mass. So these are the various benefits what we get out of having a good nutritious food. That is because of higher energy expenditure, right? In the morning, our energy expenditure power is much higher. And on top of it, if you give protein, right, the protein is the one which takes more energy to break it down. And that is good because now our body is also making an effort, spending energy, and therefore not storing excess energy as fat, right? And therefore the metabolism is higher, the digestion is higher, the nutrient absorption is higher, and that helps you to physically perform more, have more endurance, be physically active, burn more fat, right? And make more muscle, because now muscle is in the energy production phase, while in the night all of these activities have been slowed down, right? And therefore having excess food in the night is not at all advisable. It's better to reduce our consumption in the night and have it before the sunset, before 7 o'clock. If we finish our dinner, that is most appropriate, right? Because our energy expenditure capacity is lower, our heat production is much lesser. That is, our ability to digest, metabolize, or spend more energy is lesser of our body, right? And therefore the fat metabolism is also lesser, the fat burning is not happening, and now our muscle is in a recovery phase, right? After all the day's activity, now it wants to recover, and at this stage giving too much of loaded food is not advisable, because now the body wants to concentrate on repair mechanism. The other important benefit, physiological benefit what we get is to our gut microbiota, right? Diet is the one which is a linking bridge, right? It works like a bridge between the circadian rhythm and our gut microbiota, which is a whole world in itself, right? There are trillions of bacteria which are residing in our intestine, and diet is the one which is connecting our internal clock, right, our mind, to our gut. And therefore meal timing, meal frequency, the quality, all these matters in shaping the gut microbiota. Having our food in time as per the circadian rhythm reduces the bad bacteria and increases the good bacteria, and these are the bacteria which support optimal functioning of all our organs, right? So these are the various physiological benefits you get with a healthy, nutritious breakfast. Now let us move on to psychological impact. So this is the third P, right? The third P which is impacted without or with nutrition, the right nutrition. So what are the negative impact our body has when we do not have a nutritional breakfast? The impact, of course, when we talk about psychological, it is related to our brain, right? There is a huge impact on our brain. And how does it impact? Now our brain, which occupies just 2% of our entire body, right? But it consumes 20% of energy. Can you imagine? 20% of your energy is consumed by our brain alone. Why? Because you're thinking constantly, you are doing a lot of calculations, you are multitasking, right? For everything you need an alert mind. And when you do not give a nutritionally rich breakfast with the right kind of nutrients, right, what happens? There is a short supply of energy, because we need to have a sustained release of energy, right? But then when there is a short supply of energy, the blood, which is giving nutrients to the brain, is now not giving enough nutrients to the brain, right? And therefore the brain is now going on strike, right? Now the brain is not functioning appropriately. exactly similarly the way we feel, right? When we are starving, when we are extremely hungry, we are extremely low on energy, irritable. Why? Because your brain is also is irritable, right? Your brain is not functioning appropriately. You're not able to think right. And that's how your alertness goes down. Your entire focus is now to get the right kind of nutrients. So now let us move on to what are the benefits one experiences with having a right kind of nutrition, right? The psychological benefits. So what according to you, again, the question is to you, what according to you are the benefits what you will get having the right kind of nutrition, a nutritious morning breakfast? What do you think can be the benefits you will get? So this is the third P what of this session about the impact of morning nutrition, and this is an important piece because this is what makes your day, right? This ensures the right kind of mood, right? I'm giving you some clues. So what do you think are the benefits you get out of better brain functioning? Pramod ji says. Mental alertness, Anil ji says. Happy mood, absolutely, Nagarajan ji. Happy mood, more energy, Ilgi ji. Sanjay ji says alertness. G's kitchen, very alert. Siddhartha ji says feel more relaxed. Absolutely, mental happiness. Dr. Harisadan ji says happy. Sanjay ji. Manivasagan ji says happy mood, positive mental status, right? Absolutely. Reduce negative emotions like anger, Vasudeva ji says. Activeness, Ashoka ji says. Absolutely. You all already know the benefits, right? The psychological benefits is nothing but our mental well-being, right? And the benefits what we get is an improved memory, cognition, right? Mental clarity, reduce stress and mood. These are the various benefits we are getting. Now the brain is getting enough of nutrients, right? Now it's able to function optimally when you're giving your brain the right kind of nutrients. And therefore, this has a positive impact on our brain. Now, the concentration of our brain is not to get nutrients because it is getting sufficient. Exactly like the way we feel when our stomach is happy, we are now not concentrating on getting food. Now we can concentrate on doing our daily duties, our work, things which are more important, your hobbies. So therefore, our mind is now triggered to do various activities, and therefore our memory power increases, our cognitive ability increases. And this is proven through various tests as well, various clinical studies as well, shows that this is true. A good breakfast is linked to good cognition. Our mental clarity improves. The stress level goes down, right? Now the inflammation is lesser. The brain is not in a high alert state and our stress level goes down. Our mood improves. And as I mentioned, there are several studies which has shown that it has a positive benefit on our mind. This is one such example wherein, when 45 different studies were reviewed on breakfast, right? These studies help us to make a conclusive statement, right? Because you might come across various studies which say, some of them might say there is no effect, some of them might say there are negative effects, some of them might say there is positive effect. So what these scientists do is they put together all these studies and see what actually is happening, right? And that is what is reviewing of these studies together, right? Meta-analysis is done. Statistical tools are used to find out what happens when you consume your breakfast regularly. And what was seen is our cognitive ability, our thinking and understanding goes up tremendously. our memory and attention goes up tremendously. And therefore, that sets the stage of a holistic health, right? We are getting physical, physiological, and psychological benefits. A holistic health. This is all what we are, right? What we are from outside, from inside, and our mind, which controls our entire body, which also has our biological switch, right? You get various benefits by having a good, nutritious breakfast in the morning with your protein shake. I definitely have it every day, right? I've already consumed half of it today, and that is something which keeps us going, gives us all the right kind of nutrients, have enough of micronutrients in our diet, and whatever is the gap, you have to fill it up with the right kind of supplements, the multi-nutrients, which is offered by Daily Plus, right? The right kind of food. Omega-3 is something which is lacking in our diet, and that is again important to get a holistic health, right? The right physical benefits, psychological and physiological benefits out of having a good nutritious breakfast. So with that, we'll move on to the healthy habit, right? We learned what are the various benefits what you get by having a good nutritious breakfast, right? Now let us know about healthy habit, right? Which is meditating. Meditation is something which is important because that is when you give time to yourself, right? We all need to give time for ourselves. It can be any time during the day, not in the morning, or essentially in the morning our mind is alert, and therefore meditation helps us better. But then it can be done any time of the day. It can be done just before bedtime as well, just for 10 minutes. Initially you may take time to concentrate. That's fine, let your mind wander, but then eventually you will be able to focus on yourself. Your mind is blank, right? And that is what will bring our mind, stabilizes our mind. It helps us in many ways. And how does it do? What are the various benefits of regular meditation? It increases our attention span. It increases our immunity and helps fight various diseases, right? Our immune system is important because that is our defense system, right? When our defense system is strong, our body is absolutely safe. It improves metabolism and helps us lose weight. It helps you to have a good night sleep, right? It improves functioning of our brain, makes us happier because it improves our mood. We feel more connected, we feel more appreciated, we feel more optimistic, and it adds more hours to your days. What it means is it makes your day more productive, right? Most of the time, if our mind is not stable, we are not productive, and therefore we lose a lot of hours, doing the same kind of job for many hours, right? The same job which might take 1 hour might take 3 hours when your mind is not stable, right? It reduces the aging process, right? Our health span as well as our lifespan increases, right? By having the right mindset. It keeps us stress free. And these are the various benefits of meditation. So please do meditate every day. Make it a habit to meditate every day and shine, right? Because with that you will have the right mindset. Be optimistic, right? Be grateful to life. Be grateful to every day of our life, right? Have the right kind of nutrition. And optimal nutrition is what is the key for health, right? Have the right intentions, have the right kind of goals. It might be lengthening our health span to start with, right? That is what we want. We do not want to be dependent on anyone. We have to live a full life, happy life till our last breath, right? And for that, we need to keep our mind active by learning something new every day. Harbor a hobby, right? All of us like one thing or the other, maybe reading or learning a new instrument or singing, it can be anything. Keep doing that, because that will boost up your mental well-being. Exercise every day. We are made to walk, we are made to, for having constant movement, and therefore exercising our body is critical in keeping an optimal health. So with that, let us come to the recipe of the day, and we have a bonus uh, because we have two recipes for you. So you saw this nutritious sharbat, right? Coconut water sharbat. At least this was a new thing which I learned. I never knew that it will be such a excellent drink, right? I am definitely going to try. I hope you all will do too. And in this summer, that will be a great, great drink. You saw two of the great recipes, right, which were enriched with protein and fiber, right? And these are something which I'm definitely going to try. These were new to me. And now let us move on to the exercise of the day with Meenal.
A very happy good morning, everyone. And today we're going to start our workout with something very basic. We call it glute bridge, or also Setu Bang Sarvang Asana. So this is something which strengthens your abdominal muscles, work on your hip flexors, overall strengthening your spine and your back. So all those people who have weak knees and feels low level of strength in their legs should try glute bridges. It's the most basic and the beginner-friendly workout which can help to bring the strength both to your core muscles as well as to the legs. I'm going to teach you various variations and the formats. So let's get started. So let's get started with understanding the most basic version of doing a glute bridge. For this, you will have your knees and your ankles aligned. You will have your core nicely tilted up such that each and every vertebrae is aligned on the mat, which means that there is no gap between the spine and the mat. You will have your spine right this tandem with the mat. Along with that, you will have your core nicely squeezed in. So all the muscles around your navel are nicely squeezed in towards the center. And now, if you want to understand what exactly is core, all those muscles right from your pelvic floor under your chest, all these muscles surrounding your spine are your core muscles. So to start with the glute bridge, you take a nice deep inhale. Fill up your belly with a lot of oxygen, and as you exhale, you're going to rise up. As you rise up, you are not pushing up, or you are not pushing your ribcage out. You are actually lengthening your spine and you are tucking your core in. So it is a movement in which everything is going in and sucking. If possible, try to get your knee to the shoulder in one straight line as you lengthen your spine. And then again, slowly go back to the mat. Again, when you're going back to the mat, there is no arch. Each and every vertebrae is going back down to the mat. It's a great movement for all those people who have back pain. You actually need to understand that connection between the core muscles to get rid of the back pain, because we put so much pressure on our spine without taking account of the core muscles. So if your core muscles are engaged, your spine will be nice and flexible without taking the load of all these muscle groups. So let's practice few of these. A nice deep inhale, and then as you exhale, you're gonna move up. You're gonna place your hands in a comfortable position. It could be on the side, it could be up, or you can also bring them under your bridge. So let's get started, and then slowly go low. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you're moving up and down, you have to remember that every time you're moving up and down, you're not pushing your chin up to the ceiling. You're actually keeping your eyes to the legs and your chin nicely tucked to your chest. So something like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. You can feel the burn right from your glutes to your quads to your hamstrings and your core muscles. Now we have variations here. In the first variation, you can bring the heels closer to your hips. When you do this and then rise up in a bridge, then it intensifies the movement around your core muscle. So now if you move up and low, not only the glutes, your core muscles are also getting intensified. And in the same way, if you push your heels further away, not under the knees, but further away, and then do the movement, then you also intensify your hamstrings here. So this is a way in which you can use different muscle groups to practice glute bridges. Now let's do a next level movement in glute bridge, which is bridge marching. But you have to make sure only if you are comfortable with the original position of the glute bridge, you will progress to the bridge marching. For this, you have your core nicely tucked in, engage. With every move, you will breathe out. Stretch your hands up, a nice deep inhale, and with every move, you're going to exhale. 3, and 2, 4, and 4, 5, and 5, 6, and 6, 7, and 7, 8, and 8, 9, and 9, 10, and 10. So this is like the most basic and the modified version of doing the glute bridge. I hope you all understood the correct format of doing glute bridges and will start adding it to your daily routine. And that too, not even once, but actually twice. First thing in the morning as you get out of the bed, and last thing in the night as you go to sleep. It will improve the quality of your sleep, and it will get that blood circulation around your spine before you move out of your bed. Keep rocking.
So yeah, I see that the voice wasn't clear. Maybe if everyone would like, I would replay it once again.
A very happy gut morning, everyone. And today we're going to start our workout with something very basic. We call it glute bridge or also Setu Bang Sarvang Asana. So this is something which strengthens your abdominal muscles, work on your hip flexors, overall strengthening your spine and your back. So all those people who have weak knees and feels low level of strength in their legs should try glute bridges. It's the most basic and the beginner friendly workout which can help to bring the strength both to your core muscles as well as to the legs. I'm going to teach you various variations and the formats. So let's get started. So let's get started with understanding the most basic version of doing a glute bridge. For this, you will have your knees and your ankles aligned. You will have your core nicely tightened up such that each and every vertebrae is aligned on the mat, which means that there is no gap between the spine and the mat. You will have your spine right this tucked in with the mat. Along with that, you will have your core nicely squeezed in. So all the muscles around your navel are nicely squeezed in towards the center. And now if we want to understand what exactly is core, all those muscles right from your pelvic floor under your chest, all these muscles surrounding your spine are your core muscles. So to start with the glute bridge, you will take a nice deep inhale. Fill up your belly with a lot of oxygen, and as you exhale, you're gonna rise up. As you rise up, you are not pushing up and you are not pushing your rib cage out. You are actually lengthening your spine and you are tucking your core in. So it is a movement in which everything is going in and sucking. If possible, try to get your knee to the shoulder in one straight line as you lengthen your spine. And then again, slowly go back to the mat. Again, when you're going back to the mat, there is no arch. Each and every vertebrae is going back down to the mat. It's great movement for all those people who have back pain. You actually need to understand that connection between the core muscles to get rid of the back pain, because we put so much pressure over our spine without taking account of the core muscles. So if your core muscles are engaged, your spine will be nice and flexible without taking the load of all these muscle groups. So let's practice few of these. A nice deep inhale, and then as you exhale, you're gonna move up. You're gonna place your hands in a comfortable position. It could be on the side, it could be up, or you can also bring them under your bridge. So let's get started and then slowly go low. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So when you're moving up and down, you have to remember that every time you're moving up and down, you're not pushing your chin up to the ceiling. You are actually keeping your eyes to the legs and your chin nicely tucked in to your chest. So something like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. You can feel the burn right from your glutes to your quads to your hamstrings and your core muscles. Now we have variations here. In the first variation, you can bring the heels closer to your hips. When you do this and then rise up in a bridge, then it intensifies the movement around your quad muscle. So now if you move up and low, not only the glutes, your quad muscles are also getting intensified. And in the same way, if you push your heels further away, not under the knees, but further away, and then do the movement, then you also intensify your hamstrings here. So this is a way in which you can use different muscle groups to practice glute bridges. Now let's do a next level movement in a glute bridge, which is bridge marching. But you have to make sure only if you are comfortable with the original position of the glute bridge, you will progress to the bridge marching. For this, you have your core nicely tucked in, engage. With every move, you will breathe out. Stretch your hands up, a nice deep inhale, and with every move, you're gonna exhale. 3 and 3, 4 and 4, 5 and 5, 6 and 6, 7 and 7, 8 and 8, 9 and 9, 10 and 10. So this is like the most basic and the modified version of doing a glute bridge. I hope you all understood the correct format of doing glute bridges and will start adding it to your daily routine, and that too not even once but actually twice. First thing in the morning as you get out of the bed, and last thing in the night as you go to sleep. It will improve the quality of your sleep and it will get that blood circulation around your spine before you move out of your bed. Keep rocking! And today we're going to start our workout with something very basic.
Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the exercise session and you did it along. Maybe some of you might do it later, but definitely don't miss your exercise. And also try out those excellent nutritious recipes. Somebody was asking what is sattu. It's basically chickpea powder, right? Very nutritious, high in protein, which is even more made nutritious by adding protein and fiber, right? Please do try out and let us know what you think. So tomorrow we'll see you again on day 6 with lifestyle and body clock, how various other lifestyle changes or habits which you need to take care of that will have an impact on your body clock. Nutrition being one important factor. You will know about the rest. So stay tuned. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much.